Hello YouTube, this is Lewis Anatrans, aka M25, aka Lewis Jam, and today this is a special video. Now when I started this YouTube, I made a bit of a promise that I was going to do my own little arcade nook in my house. Of course, considering how expensive arcade cabinets are, especially the one-ups, which, whoo boy, a bit of a pain in the ass. I decided to go a bit miniature for now. So as you can see, what I got here is like a nice, interesting collection of arcades in the past, along with a special thing in the middle that fits the arcade genre. Let me give you a nice little close-up to show you what I got. Yeah, as you can see, I have some really good arcade games. Now I had to go to almost every store, went online, check for the prices, pay for the stuff, and see how to arrange them in my room, which I'll be getting to at near the end of this video, where I'm going to show you where I put them and how they fit. And it's quite, and you gotta admit, this is quite a unique collection. So today I'll be going through each arcade cabinet, see how they look, see how they play, and give you my own personal thoughts, including where I got them and how much they cost. And after that, I'll be showing you where I put these beauties, and of course a few little extra tidbits here and there to showcase them. So, without further ado, here we go. Okay, so the first arcade cabinet I'm gonna play in my collection is the one that started the whole arcade boom, the original Pac-Man game. Now, this Pac-Man game came out in the 1980s, and as you can see from most of this, it's the 40th anniversary, which I believe it's now over that part, actually. But hey, it is what it is. Now, I was expecting to get the original Pac-Man from my arcade, but let's just say the place I went to was on Amazon, and well, it has a neat little cost of around 20 bucks. Didn't expect it to be this fancy. As you can see, we have like some gold plating right here. You got cover art that has like a holographic image showing the Pac-Man chase. And of course, you got like gold controllers and buttons and almost everything else. Quite a interesting way. Also another holographic image as well, just them dancing around. Now it does look like an original type of Pac-Man cabinet, the way like that in the arcades. And definitely has a nice retro vibe with some of the graphics. So, let's give it a nice little playthrough. Of course, to turn it on, you need to push this button to activate it. Now, as you can see, graphics look neat, and does have that whole classic arcade Pac-Man vibes. Now, it is kind of different because if you are going to play this game, you're gonna have to first. There are like 3 buttons, of course. One is the coin button, which you have to insert the coin. Then the next one is the start, where you have to start. Kind of complex, but we'll be seeing 2 more of these games later on. So, let's put the coin in, and then we'll click start, and play around with it. As you can see, play game is simplistic enough. Grab enough pallets and avoid the ghosts. Get the power pellet, you eat the ghosts. Kind of a nice thing to put together. Though I feel like the sound quality is a bit meh. Then again, this is Pac-Man we're talking about, so I'm pretty sure most sound qualities cannot be this weird. Okay, looks like we're good. Oh, never mind. But the gameplay's the same. has that unique field. They even have all the special fruits where you can get extra points. And there's the 1-up for collect. Oof. Thought I had it there. It's cool. It's cool. We're cool. And of course, you can't have a Pac-Man game without unique little introductions. Oof, didn't a little too soon. The only thing I must have went a little bit too ahead on the power pellet part. Yep. Yeah, so basically that's the Pac-Man arcade game. Must admit, has a nice unique gameplay. Definitely has the graphics to match it. The sound quality, on the other hand, is much more different than the original arcade version. But then again, yeah, it does felt. I think they had it in the original My Arcade version. Maybe it was the sound. Maybe this was poor sound quality. It's hard to tell, but still, great gameplay. Has that retro vibe, and definitely's got its unique moments here and there. But it's nothing compared to the next game I'm gonna show you. Okay, no Pac-Man can be complete without its sequel. Hence, the reason why we got this one. The MsPac-Man. Coming out after the original Pac-Man, this was by far the most favorite game a lot of people play. In fact, you can't go walking around without seeing a Namco 20th anniversary of MsPac-Man and Galaga, which, oh boy, there were a lot of them. So, anyways, this here is the cabinet for that. As you can see, this is a much different format than the previous one, as there are like a lot of variety of companies that have been doing these mini arcades for the kids to play. Now this has its own artwork as well. You got the classic MsPac-Man design. It's a much more thinner and much more vibrant design. And of course you see these buttons here that represent the coins, like the other ones. Coin dispensers. So you have one that's on and off and one with the sound. You got the classic move format down here, and of course you have the gamer start. Now let's turn it on and show you what they got. As you can see, graphics are just a bit more basic in the basic format. So it's mostly like something straight out of the Game & Watch genre or any other games that or Tiger genre. So it does have its weirdness, but the gameplay is the same, and it does have its original sound. In fact, let me play the game for you here so I can show it to you. You see? It's got its own sound system and its own gameplay, and the level design is like the same as always. Here's even have fruit to collect that represent the mini dots. The ghosts are pretty much red for reasons I have no idea about, but then again, colors are basic for these tiger-like games. And as you can see, level itself definitely changes from time to time because it's all like nothing but mini squares. They even have like a nice little introductions of themselves as well. Really weird way of putting it, but hey, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, let's just get back to the gameplay before I lose it. So I think that's it for the game, though you gotta admit, while it is the basic out of there, it is quite a, has quite a unique feel to it. It has the original sound as well, so that's a big plus. Plus I've been playing it a couple of times, and I have a high score over 160,000, so yeah, replay value is quite unique if you wanted to continue playing this further and further down the rabbit hole. Of course, they tend to turn it off if you idle by it for too long, but hey, at least you enjoy it the way it is. Am I right? Am I right? Well, I think that's it for the 2 Pac-Man games, but I got more arcade games coming up, so get ready to see some other unique playthroughs through each of them. Okay, so the next one I'm doing is another classic from the Taito collection called Space Invaders. Now to say that this is a big cabinet is by far out of the question, but as you can see, it's a pretty damn big one if just by the size of it. Just look at how behemoth it is. You have it. You have the artwork with the Space Invaders in the side, like the most insane artwork you see here. You've got artwork on the screen. You've got artwork on the controls. This is the most behemoth one I've seen in my life. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be this size to begin with. I was hoping that it was going to be like this size. This here's a candy dispenser of that I got a long time ago, and I thought it was going to be like thinner, much more smaller, but I didn't expect it to be this size. But hey, it is what it is. So I got this thing from Amazon, like the previous one, and it was costing like around $30. I didn't think it was going to be like this colossal a size, but I believe I know the reason why, and I'm going to turn it on just to show you the case. Of course, as always, there's this start button representing the coin dispenser. Now, as you can see, you can't see anything from here. The reason why is because at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, but there are two screens there. One is the original screen that's behind. The other one is a mirror showing that said screen. And oh boy, this is going to be a pain in the ass trying to maneuver around. I'm going to do my best to play around through it just for the sake of it. But we'll see what happens in later future shows. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from here, but oh boy. I wish I would have raised the mirror or a bit more just so you can showcase the actual gameplay. So I think I'll do it from here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to succeed, but I'm hoping for the best. Now there is a coin at the side. That means you have to insert it, and it's kind of cool because it has 100 yen on it, because that Taito's from Japan. So I'm going to hit the coin button. Then there are like 3 set to play buttons. One reset, the one that wants you to represent 1 or 2 players. So let's click that button. And there's like controllers here to maneuver and fire, which it's going to be from. Okay, so I think I got it set up the way it is. So let's play it to see how it feels. I think I got it. Now, as you can see, the gameplay is the same as always. You have to use these as cover. The green things as cover. And then try to make sure not to get hit. Like, just like that. See, I'm sorry, it's hard to see the original gameplay. I think I can see it from the top, but oh boy. Not gonna be that easy. Okay, I think I got the idea. And again, it's good classic gameplay. You don't know what's gonna happen. I think I got hit again. Ugh. So apologize if it's hard to see, but yeah, it's not that easy trying to manage. But hey, at least it's got a unique artwork. That I can tell you. It has the lighting on the main center, which looks really fun, and I must admit, even if the screen is a bit janky at best, at least it has that classic Space Invaders feel to it. I just hope. I'm hoping that the rest of these games won't be doing that, which I play a lot, and trust me, you never get tired of these games. So, let's just move on to the next one. Our next gaming collection that I have in this arcade uniqueness is a nice little classic arcade game known as Frogger. Now, Frogger came out in, I believe, in the late 70s, but it has a strong following since then. So they have this little tidbit they made for this other company. Now, as you can see, artwork isn't like the one you see before, like a wooden platform and everything, but it does have the Frogger logo, has Frogger jumping across the area. We got the retro Frogger character on the sides, and of course it's a green color, so you can't go wrong with green. Now, to turn it on, the graphics are just like the last one, the MsPac-Man one, which is like the same, which is like tiger-like stuff, but it does look kind of unique. So let's give it a play and show you how it goes. It has a unique sound to it. Music's kind of unique. And the object of the game is trying to get across the road and the pond to get to the end. Now you have to try it like consecutive 5 times just so you can beat the level. And trust me, when the level, it's gonna get much harder as the time progresses. Believe me, I did try to make it work on a few occasions. I do get caught up by something bad. Oh, looks like I kinda got myself hurt. That's the first go, too, so... Oof, misclicked. Oh, that sucked. But that's the fire game in a nutshell. I got this game at the same time I got another one. Actually, I got 2 more from camp. I think the price was about $17 plus tax, but at least it has this unique playthrough, and of course, you can't go wrong with such classic art such as this. Am I right? Am I right? So stay tuned for the next 2 I got from camp, and then we'll move on to the next bit of arcade that I got that is also a really good classic. Our next arcade in my collection is another classic that is, I think it's pretty much the most iconic in certain circles, but at the same time, memorable because of its title, DigDug. As you can see, this is another My Arcade, which I got from Amazon for, I say, around $30. And it's unique because it has the artwork and design of that of DigDug. You can see the side art showing all of the characters of DigDug. You got the screen art down here along with the screen, along with the title. You got a different shape compared to the others that I showed you, and certainly has a special way of putting it. Now they have the controls, as in the up, down, and pump. You got the reset and start button, and of course we have the on and off switch composing of the coins. So let's try that now. Yep, as you can see, definitely has that unique playing field. The screen showing the DigDug title. You got the gameplay that looks similar to the DigDug franchise. I'm gonna bring it up just so you can see it. Let's hit start and see what this has. And it has that type of sound that you always hear from DigDug. I find it weird that when you move it makes sound, but when it doesn't, when you don't move, there's no sound, but hey. I think that's how they want to play it out. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Went a little too soon, went a little too soon. Why didn't we went this way? Weird. Yeah, it gets a little tougher when you get past the third round, but yeah, it does have that unique gameplay, and the music and everything was up to par. Really good replay value when you think about it. Not though it could get a little difficult as it gets forward, but hey, you enjoy it, and that's what it's all about. So let's just proceed on to the next arcade. That's let's just say a bit more redundant and long, but hey, I'm not complaining about it to begin with. Our next arcade for the collection, another good classic, and by far the most longest one out there. It's Tetris. Now, Tetris is one of those arcades that have many variations, be that of console gaming, handheld gaming, apps, pretty much anything and everything. But they always go back to the classic arcades. As you can see, this is another one of those arcades you see in other companies. You got the side art that has the classic retro Texas logos, along with the buildings on the sides, and of course the buttons representing the coin dispensers. And this one is kind of unique because it's the most simplistic way of designing it. Now, I'm going to start playing a couple of rounds. Hopefully this works. Now, normally you start with the level. Then you start with how the intensity should be. And then we start the game. Now, as you can see, the Tetris blocks are the usual stack 'em ups. You see it everywhere by now. I just realized, of course, the main issue is that they don't have and fitting the blocks the best they can possibly can. Trust me, I've been trying to figure out how to resolve that part. Of course, the only way to do that is to sneak it sneak it into one of the perfect holes, and you manage to fit it in right. Now I think this was better when you have it for other console gamings, or better yet, other apps like Tetris Blitz. But this is different. You don't have much of power-ups or anything. You just have to stack as many as you can possibly can and try to beat it. Which, I'm going to say, it's not that easy to manage. Hell, I'm pretty sure in most games you're gonna have to hold certain blocks and move into the next, but nah. They just stick you with the next block after another, and it would be difficult to stack up. Gotta admit though, the sound is unique, though it could get a little irritating after a long playthrough. Trust me, hearing the loop over and over again, not that fun.
As you can see, you have it clear as many lines as possible. Either single, double, triple, or the infamous Tetris. Just gonna give you that heads up as I continue playing this thing. It takes a while to get through it without having to lose. Already I'm up to lines 51. Oh, and I just went too soon. Getting too much crazy now. Fuck. Okay. Let me just clear it up and then just call it a day, hopefully. Oh, and I screwed up. But as you can see, I've been playing this game a lot, and I have a high score of over 25,000 at least. Or 25? Yeah, 25,000. No, wait, 1,300. Yeah, 138,000 over at best. And whew, man, you never get tired of trying to beat this game no matter what you do. I tell ya, I think this is a bigger recommendation because it's a challenging one, and you may never know if you're going to be able to beat it in your first playthrough. If you beat it to like a high score of all the 9s, at least. But hey, it's enjoyable at its finest, and let's face it, you never get tired of certain things like this, do ya? Anyways, let us proceed to the next one, which is, I think, my least favorite, but it's understandable as to why. Okay, so this next arcade is one of those very popular lines for certain gamers, though not to me. It's called Street Fighter II Champions Edition. Now, it goes without saying, there's too many alliterations of Street Fighter. Whether they have so many expansion packs, or they cross over with Marvel, or Capcom, it's sort of a mixed bag for me. See, I'm not much into the whole fighting type. Maybe because I'm more into the whole FPSs, but I do play a few fighting games, Skullgirls and Soul Calibur, to name a few. But it does feel like you really need to get one of these for your little collection, no matter what format it is in. So as you can see, the artwork is sort of kind of like that of the original arcade. You got all the variety of characters. You have the side art with the logo, which I'm pretty sure they used to have like side art of all the fighters, though it does seem a little weird if you ask me. Now, I got this thing from Target, and it cost me like almost $40 for what I put together. For I can put together 40, 50, but it is worth it, because this is like one of the very few arcades that have much more better graphics than other My Arcade things. Let's see if we can blow it up. Also, you can see that they have also the coin to insert, which is a nickel, and of course the menu option where you can just pause and just do something about it. So let's turn this on. It takes a while to load up, actually. There's the My Arcade logo. Then of course you have the choice of one single player or play as 1 or 2. I have the cord, but I don't have a second controller. Even if I could, let's just say I don't know anyone else who plays these games. So let's stick with single. Now you'll go see the top title up there that's lit up. I don't know, you can see it now because it's bright. Okay, looks like it's loading up right now. Give it a moment. There it is. See, it also has all the graphics, including the introduction to Street Fighter. Really impressive when you think about it. Kinda makes you wonder if they would have had like multiple options, but hey, it is what it is. Now there are multiple buttons they got here. The joysticks to maneuver, and you got all 6 buttons showing the varieties. Like say, for your punches and your kicks. I usually do the button mashing just for the hell of it. And you can tell from the demos that the graphics look superb. Like really impressive when you think about it. So let's get started. Let me just put the coin in. Then I'll put player 1. I have to press start. Now, there's a wide variety of characters you can select. You can either Ryu, E Honda, Blanca, Gole, Balrog, Vega, M Bison, Sagat, Daslin, Zangief. Oh, it looks to me like every time. But they also have other characters as well. Looks like I'm starting with Ken right now, so wish me luck in this first round, because I rarely pass it. Oof, nearly lost it, but hey, that is a good first round. Let's try the second. Alright, I think we already beat the first match. Looks like we're going up against Chun-Li. Wish me luck.
Round 1, fight!
Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Alright, let's try again. Okay. Yeah, it's not easy trying to get to the second match. I'm a little bit fortunate enough to get to the first match on a few occasions, but it's not that easy. Though, there is an option. See, when you go to the menu, you see a pause screen that shows you everything. So you got back to game, restart game, you got the screen whether before or native. Don't know what that means. You got demo sounds. And then you got game difficulty, which is currently at a 4. I'm pretty sure the highest... Yeah, the highest is at a 7, lowest is at the 1. And of course you have brightness, so if the game is a bit too bright for you, you could either lower the brightness or raise the brightness a bit more. And supposedly that this is how it's supposed to play out, but hey, it was this is a good game. I'm pretty sure every person who plays Street Fighter would play games such as this, though I feel like that it would be a bit difficult for people like me playing this game, considering you like to mash buttons a lot, and let's be honest, trying to block is a bitch, because you have to go back a bit and just block out everything, which there was a button for blocking just to prevent what would be embarrassment. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's just how it is. Okay, so anyways, let us move on to the next arcade. Now this one is another one of those arcades I found in a store, but definitely hard to get. This is the Defender cabinet from the Midway. Now I found this one at this store in Garden State Plaza in Paramus called FYE. And before you ask, no, it's not that regular store, even though it had the same name, but they shut it down, like any other record place, like Sam Goody or any other areas. But the FYE is mostly kind of like Hot Topic, as in they have like pretty much all the stuff like shirts and vinyl records and food and memorabilia from different brands. Anyways, I found this along with another game with a cost of, I'd say, around 20 bucks, 17 maybe. And might as well just get it, because you don't see it anywhere else other than in Amazon, right? So the artwork is unique. It's got the Defender art style along with the title. You got 3 buttons and a joystick that makes you move up and down. One to start the game, one for a smart button, one for fire. It could get complicated because sometimes people accidentally hit the smart button and not the fire button. And of course you got the red buttons right here. So, let's play this out. As already we could see that this game has a uniqueness. Let's just start playing around with it for a bit. Oh. Okay. I accidentally used up all the bombs. Okay, I think we got everything. Oh, this is not gonna be fun. Yeah, it's very complicated. Like that of the original game, but you gotta get used to. Whew, not that easy trying to beat the game. I had a high score of 41,500. Yeah, very difficult to beat, especially when it's in a smaller arcade format. Hell, the original ones are difficult to beat as it is. But I guess it's for those who want a challenge, and judging by how it played out, yeah, it is quite the challenge when you think about it. Alright, let's move on to another series of arcade games that I managed to obtain. And believe me, these were classics in their own right. Our next arcade is a two-parter, actually, because next two arcades are pretty much part of a franchise that's just like Pac-Man in a way. The first one, of course, as you can see, is Galaxian, which I believe came out first before the next one. I really don't know, but anyways, this is pretty much one of those shoot-'ems like that of Space Invaders, though it does feel like it's much more advanced in a way. At least you could see better. You don't have the two screens. These are just my thoughts. So the artwork is pretty much simplistic. You got the moons in the border, the Galaxian title, but in the side you got the original artwork from the arcade in general. Pretty classic, if I do say so myself. You got the buttons here, you got the joystick to move, the button to fire, you got two buttons for start and reset. Then of course you have the on and off button, which we're going to start right now. As you can see, it has that type of feeling of a Galaxian thing. You get to see the title, you get to see the start button. It says 2018 though. Normally it's the originals, of course, 1979, I believe. But it does depend on the year, because the next game is much more popular than this one. So, I say we get started to show you how it plays out. Yeah, it definitely has a unique gameplay in its sense, though it's not easy trying to get past the second round. Especially when if you want to continue to shoot, you have to wait until the next rocket comes up after the first rocket disappears. So, not a easy game to beat. Though, you gotta admit, they always have the so-called design way. They always keep it at the same design in some certain fashion, but hey, I'm not one to bitch about it, but hey. But at least it's enjoyable and it's a challenge for some people. Yeah, I would recommend it if you're interested in this game, though I believe the next one seems like a better choice than this one, which I'm gonna speak to you about right this moment. Okay, so the second one is, of course, the one that I'm pretty sure all of you already know by the moment I said a series. The ever-infamous, ever-classic Galaga, sharing the same 20th anniversary as MsPac-Man in those cabinets. Oh boy. Now, this artwork is much more better than the last one, even though the side art was pretty cool. You have, like, the borders showing all of the Galaga enemies, and the title above it. You see the buttons for the ship, whether it be the left, right, up, down, and then the fire like the last one. And of course the side art is kind of nice. Has that original taste to it as much like the other ones. So yeah, really kind of cool. Now I haven't mentioned this earlier, but this, along with Galaxian and MsPac-Man, came from Walgreens. I found them in certain parts of stores. The MsPac and Galaga from one store in Kennedy Boulevard, farther in I believe West New York, and then this one from Union City. They all cost about $25-30 from what I give or take, but it's worth the cost. And well, let's face it, looking at this, you can imagine what I have to work with. So let's just turn it on to show you how it looks inside. Now Galaga certainly has the same playing field as that of Galaxian. Shows you the title screen, shows you the enemies you'll be facing. Of course, the difference between Galaxian and Galaga is that there are like enemy varieties when you're dealing with bugs. Sometimes later on the bugs change to different bugs for more points. And of course, it has a challenger stage where you have to beat as many as you can for bonus points. So, why don't we get started on playing this game and show you what it has. Even has its own classic music. That's the best part is you can do all the button mashing you can, because it won't have a quick slow reload. I think that's all of the game, but it was really fun. Very challenging as much as the last one, and trust me when I say it, it's not really easy when you have to beat these guys when it gets tougher and tougher. In fact, you gotta have to have a lot of replayability to do that, especially in regular arcades. Thankfully, places like Yes Arcades and stuff have you do free play, so you can play to your heart's content. So I think those were the two games that I want to show you, like the Pac-Man series. And, well, depending on which game you want, I think both of them are pretty challenging and fun. It does depend on which one you want. Do you want Galaxian with just the simplistic way, or the Galaga with the most complex and challenging way? It does depend on your perspective, of course. So, I think we have about 2 more to go and an extra one to show you. Let's take a look at this one that is kind of okay, but it does depend on how it works. But we'll see what happens when we get down to it. Okay, this arcade in my collection is another one I got from FYE down at Garden State Plaza. It's called Joust. It's also a midway game, and yeah, this is one of those fun yet complex ways of putting it. Artwork here is kind of unique. You got the controller in the middle, and you got this button to flap. Artwork on the side shows the Joust character. Really original in some way. Though I think it's safe to say it could be much more fun. Alright, so we have here the controls for that. Let's play it and see what it does. Okay, so the object of the game is to defeat all your opponents and collect those little pellets for extra bonus point. Of course, the issue to beat them is not easy to master, because they tend to flap around, like, just as you can see, knock you off your perch, especially in the higher format. Plus, when you have to, I'm trying to see that this is one of the issues I have. Oh boy, this is one of the issues I have, because whenever you try to flap, it tends to not register what you have to register. Now, this might suck right now, but when you think about it, let me try again just for the hell of it, just so I can show you. I think the issue is that this thing has a mind of its own, because even if you try to flap high, you're trying to get into certain crevices. There we go. Yeah, it gets much more hectic as time goes on, but hey. Now, as you can see, it goes into multiple waves, so you don't know how it's going to play out. So yeah, you see here that it's not easy when you have to get through the flapping mechanic, especially when you have to deal with the enemies flying higher than you and not making possible to wait for until they come down. Still, it is challenging, and it has multiple waves, so if you want to continue to play it over and over again, I think it's suited for you in certain fashions. Though it does depend if you're really interested in a game like this. While it is the most iconic, not many people would play it for reasons. Me, I have no idea how it all plays out, but hey, I'm not the type of person that wants to give it a go. And besides, this is a game I found in a store, and you never really see it in anywhere else other than Amazon. So let's go on to the next addition to my collection, which isn't an arcade. You'll find out why. Okay, so our next arcade is actually a pinball machine. Yes, can't have an arcade without an actual pinball machine. I found this at the camp along with Tetris and Frogger. It's called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball machine. It cost, I believe it was $17 at least. Has a unique type of artwork here. There you got the sides with the Ninja Turtles from the 90s, along with the title. You got them all over the place. It looks pretty cool. Of course, they need to have a switch right here. And of course, like most of them, they have like screws with batteries built in. When I bought it, it was like the batteries were drying up, and it was difficult for me to unscrew it, but I was able to get out and get some new batteries replaced. I don't know why they keep adding these things. I guess it's for display reasons, I suppose. Anyways, let's turn this on and show you what it is. As you can see, I already have a high score of 3 million, over 3,500,000. You see the screen down here, and it shows you the game title and everything. Let me just get this back up. So, let's start playing this game. I'm going to put it right here so you can see it. Now, this is basically a generic pinball machine, but it does have its fun thing going on. Now, unlike other pinball machines, this has a 5-ball thing going on, which you need to beat this game with 5 balls. Play the game for 5 balls. Now, I'm pretty sure there's an actual pinball of the Ninja Turtles. I know it's around here, around in the arcades somewhere, but to see that, along with games such as the original and Turtles in Time, I say you're going to have a good enough collection. think that's the last ball. Yep, that is the last ball. So as you can see, this is a very fun game to play, and while the gameplay is a bit limited, at least it's a challenging one, depending on how you're going to be able to accomplish such a feat. So I think that's all of the arcade games for today. But before we wrap it all up, I want to show you one more thing that completes the whole arcade collection for me. Okay, so the final thing I'm gonna show you is the one thing that completes this nice little arcade collection, and it's this bad boy. It's on the surface it looks like a change machine from the 80s or 90s, but in reality this is actually a huge charger. I got this beauty from Amazon. Actually, I saw it on the Sideshow website, which is like a store for like multiple figurines from comics to anime and all that, and they got this up for sale. Now if I remember correctly, I think the price tag of it was, I believe, $60, I believe. I bought it at Amazon, so it was hard to tell, but you could tell that it was worth it, because I've been using I was charging it in like multiple plugging units in the girls' room, well, considering that my sisters left, but I can't be hogging most of the room all the time, so I bought this and off to the races. Now I want to show you what I mean. This is a behemoth. At first I thought it was going to be small, but I didn't know it was going to be this size, especially how it looks. You could tell there's like a change title, the $1 to $5 bills to put money inside and then distribute coins. There's a light here that usually says temporary out of order. That light is usually on when I'm charging all my stuff. And in the back, you see the multiple plugging units for a variety of devices, depending on what you have. Right now I have an iPad, my Motorola phone, my camera, which I'm using, and then I have a portable charger and pretty much and a Fitbit, pretty much anything and everything. Though I also have a charging cord for my iPod. It doesn't seem to work for some reason. I have no idea why. Still, this looks like a cool gadget, and definitely worth buying if you want to complete a collection like mine. Though I wasn't expecting it to be big, I was planning to hang it up as an ornament someplace, though seeing it now, it does feel a little iffy. But if it's good for charging my stuff, I'm okay with that, and you might see it later on. So that's it with my little walkthrough of each of these arcade cabinets. You must admit, this was quite an enjoyable experience. There are some good hits, yet at the same time there could be a few misses. But yeah, it's all pretty cool, with a personal favorite of mine. Now, there are other mini arcade cabinets that maybe a lot of people would be interested in seeing, though it's going to be difficult because I have no room to put any more stuff anymore. In fact, I'm going to show you something that was in one of the boxes. These are like all of the my arcade collection stuff that are that they've added so far. Already you have most of the Data East stuff, Burger Time, Caveman Ninja, Karate Champ, Bad Dudes, and Heavy Barrel, which I don't have as of this moment. Then you got the Bandai Namco stuff, which, while they have a MsPac-Man version, I got the smaller one just to make it different with the original Pac-Man. But they also got like Mappy and Rolling Thunder, along with an arcade cabinet that's coming soon at the time of this recording. Then you got the Bubble and Elevator Action from the Title Classics, with another one that's coming soon. Then you have all the premium edition models, which I have 2 of them, but there's also a Contra, which I don't have. Well, I want to
get all these games. Again, no room. There's also, at the time of this recording, that I discovered in a store that they had a mini DDR cabinet. And I'm like, really? A DDR? Huh, that could have been interesting. I could have just at least waited until next time. But when I was looking through some YouTube videos, I suddenly realized that it's not all that hyped up to be. I mean, 3 songs with 3 difficulties, is that how much they have around there? I mean, I look at them and like, seriously, that's gonna be a waste of money if you wanted to get an arcade camera that does only 3 songs. But fortunately, I have a bunch of DDR games downstairs in my basement for the original Xbox and the Wii. So yeah, I don't think I want to be spending like around $20 for something that has limited songs. Still, it is quite. Still, at least, even if I do pay for it, still, again, no room. And then there is a good reason why, which is hence, we're going to go straight to my room and show you where these cabinets are located and how it all plays out. So, let's get going. Okay, here we are with my full setup and where we put my arcade. As you can see, my room is a bit of a clutter with all the shelves, but you know what? I had a reason for the top, which I'm gonna get to later, but right now I gotta separate the arcades in 2 separate locations. The first location is right down here. Now, I used to have like a stereo set from Brookstone, but it wasn't working as well, and the only closest thing that works is the radio, so I kind of put it in storage and put all this together. So, as you see, we have the change machine. See that light on that says temporary service? That means it's charging. And I got all of these cords sticking out at the side. Now, I usually have these for my Fitbit, my phone, my camera, as you can see here, and of course, I'm currently charging my iPad mini. I was supposed to have the iPod here as well, but I don't know what's going on with that thing. Especially with the battery situation, because sometimes it's always full in battery, and then next thing you know, it just immediately goes out when it's like at 3/4 of power. I'm trying to figure it out. But I also have like the other arcades next to it. Considering we have these premium machines, I put it here. There's the Space Invaders. Then we have the Defender next to it. Then of course we got Street Fighter 2. And finally, the Joust. Right down there. Now I have other stuff on here as well. I got like the blue gloves for working. I also have clear gloves as well, so don't want to do that. Then we have the masks and, of course, that the soles, which I was supposed to use for one of my shoes, but hey, I never really use much. Now, we move on to the top portion. As you can see, we got quite the collection. This is what happens when you have like 2 years of a pandemic and a lot of free time on your hands. Well, any free time when you have the chance. And as you can see, I was a bit busy. Of course, behind it is everything is just all random bottles, cans, cereal boxes, pretty much anything and everything, everything for like nice little backdrop. But of course, we gotta move on to what we got. Now, of course, we have my Money in the Bank briefcase with all of the autographs I got from Comic-Con and wrestling events. So you got people like Scott Hall and Animal and Ashley, Becky Lynch, Rob Van Dam, Ed, Christian, Zack Ryder, pretty much anyone and anyone, even Finn Balor. You don't see much of him because of the huge Freddy doll in front. I didn't expect the Freddy doll to be that big, but hey, it's not what it is. So we can move on to the rest of the stuff. You can see here the MsPac-Man between the little bit of bubbly and my Eiffel Tower with the Paris map. I got this on one of the vacations in Paris, France. I saw it in one of the stores and I thought I could get that, so it looks pretty cool if you're into this sort of thing. And then we have the MsPac-Man, well, not MsPac-Man, the Pac-Man arcade game. And there's a old mouse pad I used a long time ago. It isn't working now, but considering how sleek the design is, I decided to keep it and put it here, right where the Pumpkin Pete's from Ruby cereal box is. Then of course we got the Frogger arcade, and next to that is the MASH from Fate Grand Order, the very popular app, which is now turned into a multi-anime series. I haven't watched it yet. I'm still stuck in the Magical Girl Fate show, which, not much of a good, which could be a bit of a long track because it had a few seasons. Then of course we have the Galaxian arcade game, and in the middle, this is a little something that someone did for me. See, I have this big tub of popcorn I bought because YII's hankering for more usually do Oscar weeks, and 2021 we couldn't do theaters because of the whole pandemic, so I brought this in just so I can have like a movie experience with some full tub of popcorn. But when Oscar week is over, I had an empty popcorn bucket, and under all honesty, I had no clue what to do with it. Now, I was planning to put it in the middle and set it up the way it should be and have like a stuffed doll or something, but then at YI Arts, an art class I go to for doing art and selling art, there's an artist who goes by the name Rosita. She is an incredible artist. She has a very good collection of portraits and a nice, interesting comic book series that she personally made. But another thing she made is actual art through basic items. Like, I saw her have like small little buckets of popcorn with popcorn spitting out, which is pretty much cotton balls with paint on them. So I asked her for a favor, and she did this for me. Now, as you can see, this is like a huge tub of popcorn, so you gotta have a lot of popcorn coming out, spilling down to the floor. And it's in a variety of flavors. So you got your regular with the butter, you got your chocolate and caramel popcorn, and then you've got the Cheeto popcorn. She did pretty excellent work, and I personally bought the cotton balls for her to help with the work. It was a bit of a delay on a few occasions, especially when other artists from other art programs take it without asking. But she did an incredible job, and I can't thank her enough for doing this for me. If you want to know more about it, I have a link on my DeviantArt account that will lead her to her Instagram account or whatever account that she has to save up her art, like a Twitter account, so you can see all of her creations. It is quite a feat she does, and I respect her for that. Now, moving on to the arcades, we have the Ninja Turtle pinball machine there. Next to that, we got the Johnny figurine from Cyberpunk 2077. I have the game in my Xbox One. I enjoyed it as much. I know it was pretty much open world. It was more Grand Theft Auto, but hey, when you have Keanu Reeves in a role like that, you gotta have to play it, right? Now, I haven't checked out the updated version of the game. I know they had a huge patch to fix up some of the glitches. I didn't have problems with those said glitches, and other than the pop-ups when you drive closer to drive down the street. But other than that, this is pretty cool. it's a pretty cool figurine when you think about it. Then of course we have Galaga right here. Between that is what I have reason to believe is something of a Lego Mandalorian and the Baby Yoda. Now, I was planning to get the Infinity Gauntlet Lego, but they sold out, and I saw this, and I like, you know what? You can't have a good collection without a Baby Yoda, especially when you have Mandalorian along. It was a bit trying to figure out how to put them together, especially with the box, and we have all the extra pieces that I could have thrown out. But other than that, this is kind of a nice thing, and I used to play Legos when I was a kid. No shit. I had like a lot of collections. I usually mix the collections up from bit by bit, so it is fun to try out. Kind of wish I would go to like Legoland or go to that Lego museum like when I was at the Sea Life American Dream, but everything's pretty much for kids, and I would find it would be a bit creepy for me to get involved. Then of course we have the Tetris arcade machine. Next to that is the Kasumi Ai figurine. Now I like that YouTuber. She's one of the first American VTubers that ever hit the YouTube market, and it's a shame that she had her final tour and she's not putting up any more content. But you gotta respect her for paving the way of the whole Alive girls and pretty much almost every VTuber throughout the world. So give props to her and everything else in between. Then of course we have the infamous DigDug cabinet. Right next to that is the Bendy doll, along with behind it is an axe I made for my Halloween costume. I don't know if you can see it now, but I have a link down below to showcase my axe. So, just to give you a heads up in case you want to know what it looks like. Then we can proceed while we stop at the arcades. I should wrap it up with all the other stuff that I have. Of course, this is the NXT Tag Team Championship I bought. Well, actually, I have a friend that's a big wrestling fan, and I asked him if he and I were tag champs, what title would we get? He said NXT, and I sort of bought one of the belts for him for his birthday. Of course, we had to do the 2 belts because you got to have a tag team, right? Even though the cost was a bit much, it was for sale, so I bought the 2. Kind of regret buying it immediately when I saw how the belts looked, and whew, my family wasn't happy about it. Seriously, they weren't happy. But they got used to it, and let's be honest. It's not much. Let's be honest. This is the only time I will get a belt, and I would never get any more belts, especially considering what you see in my room. And of course, I had to do like a bit of a punishment, which isn't much, but it's gonna be very costly on a few occasions. Then of course, to wrap things up, you have the infamous Funko Pop diorama of The Rock and Stone Cold the Monday night before WrestleMania 19. And of course, behind that is my little step pyramid of empty Coke cans that I've been collecting for over a year. Right now it's pretty much Coke theme, Coca-Cola theme, and I have all the Cokes lined up, especially the newest one, which is Starlight. Quite a unique feat. You got more bottles here that I gathered up around for time to time. And of course, between around this bottle along with the bubbly bottle is the Central Park Challenge medal. Now, for 2 years, Central Park Challenge was doing mostly virtual stuff due to the whole pandemic, and they give you an option to do running around where you are. I've been doing 2 runs throughout the Hudson in both directions, one down in Edgewater and the other down in Hoboken. I did enjoy it. That's all there is. And I do practice in May before the whole thing. But then again, on the first virtual run, I did do all the running, and yeah, my legs were very painful during the whole time. Right now, they bring back the Central Park Challenge down in Central Park, though they are not doing the 4-mile run like they usually do. Now it's just 3K walks, which kind of pisses me off. I mean, I did the virtual runs twice, and I was expecting to run with other people throughout Central Park, and now they're not doing it anymore. And let's be honest, it pains me to note that they're not going to do one this year. Maybe next year, or who knows? Perhaps maybe they're going to change their mind and do another 4-mile run. I'm hoping that will happen, but it's pretty much a big reach. Of course, you got other stuff I've been collecting over the years. A couple cans, figurines, more bottles. I am planning to get rid of this old printer because it's pretty much busted with the cartridges not moving properly, and add some more books. But other than that, everything is just what it is. I have other stuff too. I got these Vocaloid figurines. I have a lot of random stuff. Some Madoka Magica figurines down here. More stuff. Catholic, more religious things, because pretty much I'm a Catholic. But other than that, that's pretty much my whole video game tour. Honestly, even if I promise on an arcade, it's not much, but at least it's cheaper and I can play them. And I do tend to clean my shelves and arcade cabinets every 2 weeks at the least. So I have that going for me. Would I do a much bigger arcade? It's a bit of an iffy due to how expensive they are, especially the 1-ups. And even if I could get more cabinets, actual cabinets, and put them in the basement like I was originally planned on doing, it's so much of a mess, and we have to renovate that basement because of how it looks. Not easy when you're dealing with a bit of a hoarding situation. But on the bright side, I got what I got. And it's a better choice than, say, waiting on getting the expensive stuff. So there's that. So I hope you enjoyed this little arcade I made. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a like or comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. # where are the good cartoons?